China's President and Prime Minister Manmohan Singh will also have a separate meeting on the sidelines of the summit. President Hintao's arrival today, however, coincided with the death of a young Tibetan protester who had set himself on fire to protest against what Tibetan protesters claim are China's repressions. 2 days ago, he set himself on fire. China, meanwhile, has squarely blamed the Dalai Lama and the Tibetan administration's Prime Minister in exile for inciting these self-immolations.
A 20-year-old in China drawing attention to her cause, a free Tibet. The video, shot in November 2011, went viral on the internet, inspiring several others. So far, since February 2009, 30 Tibetans have tried to self-immolate. 22 have died. The latest, 26-year-old student Yashi, who set himself on fire in Delhi on Monday and died this morning, hours before the Chinese President Hu Jintao landed for the 4th BRICS summit.
Actually, he used to tell me, like tell someone else, his friend, class, I think so, about the history of Tibet.
There have been sporadic protests by Tibetans across Delhi today, but here at the Oberoi Hotel, where the Chinese premier is supposed to stay, there's a 3-tier security, and Delhi police has placed barricades like this at intervals of 1 kilometer from this area.
The incident shook the security forces and pushed them to enhance the security measures many folds. More than 200 Tibetans were taken into preventive custody. 15 companies, that's 1,200 security officials, deputed across the city. Areas where Tibetans reside cordoned off. And despite that, several places in the national capital, Jantar Mantar Khan Market, saw protests.
We came here to protest. We came here to tell the world, and especially Hu Jintao, that he's unwelcome here, given what's been going on inside Tibet, for which he is responsible.
But for the two Asian giants, it's economy on the top of the agenda. With trade and economy at its heart, BRICS is about enhancing regional cooperation between the world's emerging markets, its member nations. But will the death of this Tibetan and the Tibetan protests scar this summit? Tibetan leaders say India should make Tibet a core issue between India and China. But with China's increasing economic dominance, can India really afford to do that? Perhaps to have a diplomatic edge, India needs not just Tibet, but also good economics. In New Delhi with Tanima Biswas, Anshul Vora, NDTV.
So are these protests condemned to remain a sidelight of the summit, even though a young man died? Can immolation actually work as a tool of diplomacy? Is it true, as China has said, that the Dalai Lama and Dr Lobsang Sangay are actually inciting these self-immolations? I spoke a short while ago to Dr Lobsang Sangay. He's the Prime Minister of the Tibetan administration in exile, currently in Dharamshala. Dr. Sangay, we saw a strong statement from the Chinese Foreign Ministry blaming the Dalai Lama and you directly for this wave of self-immolations that has happened. The latest one in Delhi, a young man died today, and the around 22 Tibetan protesters who have died in Tibet.
Well, we have always discouraged drastic actions by Tibetans, and His Holiness has always consistently maintained the principle, and he has also urged Tibetans not to resort to drastic actions. But we know the reasons why Tibetans inside are self-immolating is mainly because of the occupation of Tibet and repressive policies of the Chinese government. And the cries of the Tibetans make it very clear. They want to see the return of His Holiness Dalai Lama to Tibet and freedom for Tibetan people. So the blame for increasing cases of self-immolations lies squarely with the Chinese leadership and the hardline policies of the Chinese government.
But Dr. Sangay, when you say that, when you say that you understand the reasons why this is happening, China has pointed to the fact that the Dalai Lama has not condemned these self-immolations despite the fact that it violates the principles of Buddhism. Isn't that encouragement in a way, as China claims?
No, he has never condoned. In fact, he has always discouraged and have issued statements before, even when Tibetans sit for hunger strikes unto death or indefinite hunger strikes in Delhi. So His Holiness has always advocated non-violence and peaceful method, and consistently.
But he hasn't actually condemned this wave of self-immolations. Is that important? Why has he not condemned it? Why have you not condemned it?
Well, he has actually discouraged it, and that is very clear. And we have also urged repeatedly to Tibetans not to resort to drastic actions. That we can do, and we have made it very clear to Tibetan people inside and outside.